Hi, fourth graders. I know I'm not there today, but I think you'll be just fine without me. Today during ELA class, Miss Casey is your substitute, and most of what you'll spend your time doing is working on your second ELA assignment, your timeline. Okay, so let me explain the requirements that are on the board. They should still be there today while you're watching this video on Wednesday. But you can also stop and pause and replay this video to get the requirements as well. Okay, so first, I'm just going to read these directions out loud to you. You're going to need sentence strips, which Miss Casey will give you. They look like this. You can have the same color or two different colors. I don't care. It's up to you and your group. You'll also need index cards. I would grab a stack, maybe like 20 or 25. I have like hundreds, thousands of them, so you can use as many as you want. You'll need those. And then you'll also need either markers, colored pencils, or crayons. Now, of course, you are welcome to use your materials. You're also welcome to use mine. I will say, if you use the materials in the green cart by the door, put the materials away so that we have them the next time we need to use them. So when you make your timeline, you can tape your two pieces together. So it'll look something like this when you tape it or staple it together. You'll have a really long timeline, and you're going to put 7 events on the timeline in chronological order. There's a list of the events that you need on the board, but they are not in order. You have to put them in order. So the events you have to include: the Proclamation of 1763, the Quartering Act, the Intolerable Acts, the French and Indian War, the Stamp Act, the Boston Massacre, and the Boston Tea Party. That's 7 events. So each one of those events has to be on your timeline. For each event, you need to, one, put them in order from when they happen, from earliest to latest. And then you also need to describe each event. So in your description, and again, this is all on the board, and I'm saying it in the video. For your description needs to be 3 sentences. In those 3 sentences, you need to describe the event, tell about what caused it, and what happened as a result. You also need to represent the event in a picture. So my example is I did the Boston Tea Party. So my card says, the Boston Tea Party. Colonists were upset about the tax Britain put on tea. So on December 16th, 1773, a group of colonists dressed as natives threw the tea into the harbor. This caused Britain to close the Boston harbor in the Intolerable Acts. This first sentence, I have the cause. Colonists were upset about the tax on tea. I have what actually happened. Colonists dressed up and threw tea into the harbor. And then the effect. This caused Britain to close the Boston harbor. I also could have said Britain decided to close the Boston harbor in the Intolerable Acts as a result or as an effect. So you can use those keywords, cause and effect, or things like as a result or because of, some of those keywords for cause and effect text structures. But you need to have the cause, the effect, and the description of the event. Can you have more than 3 sentences? Absolutely. But do you need to have at least 3? Yes. And then also draw what happened. You can see I have a perfect little drawing here. I want you to spend more time on your drawings than I spent on mine. But when you do this, you're going to put these things on the sentence strip. Now you can either, you can write your description here, or you can use the card for that, but your description and your pictures need to go together, okay? And then one thing I haven't written on the board, but I will, is that you also need to have the date that it happened. All of the dates are in the book. So if you want to see what you can remember with your group without looking at a book, that would be a great idea, but you can always use this as a resource, your metaphor paper, and you can use your book as well. The page numbers you'll want to use are pages... Sorry, the lights just went out. I'll turn that on here in a second. The talk about the colonies starts on page 133 and goes from there. So you can use your book as a resource also. Okay, sorry. If you finish your timeline before class is over, you have two options. One option is that you can do the back of this paper. I gave Miss Casey some extra copies in case you don't have yours. I also have a pile like Kale's, Liliana's, Hannah's, Liam's that you need to get back so that you can do that. And that's only if you finish your timeline. The other option, if you finish your timeline, is to work on U.S. Mission on Mission 1 only. If you've already done Mission 1, there's no reason to do it again. You should work on this, okay? And if you finish your timeline and this, then you can read silently or you can play Mission 1 again. So, timeline, all of the requirements are on the board, and we went over them in this video. If you finish your timeline, then you can do the back of this thing. Liliana and Kale, thanks for letting me use your papers. And if you still are finished, which I think the timeline will take most of your time. If you finish those two things, you're probably rushing through things, but you can always play U.S. Mission as well, okay? I will have Schoology open for most of the day while I'm at my training, so if you have a burning question that you absolutely cannot find the answer to, nobody in the class knows, Miss Casey doesn't know, it's not in the book, it's not in your notes, then you can message me and I might get back to you, but use your resources. 9 times out of 10, someone else in the class knows the answer, okay? So have a good day. And again, feel free to rewatch this video, stop, pause, or whatever you need to do to complete your assignment and make sure you've upheld all of the expectations and requirements for your timeline. We will be presenting those later this week. So I'm going to ask Ms. Casey to collect those and put those on my windowsill right there by my stuffed animals, okay? And that way I'll know where they are and we'll be able to present those later this week, okay? Have a great day, guys.